If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
it is.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You got to endure. People are too...
You want to stick into the relationship?
People are just...
See, I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just...
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
endure.
I'll tell
Would
you
they
what.
give up
I'll tell you
divorce?
what. It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely. Jesus himself said in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
No,
For the
cheating.
Or
children?
cheating, sorry. You think that
Cheating
cheating is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Sorry.
children, yes.
Absolutely
I think I'm not going to say this is
divorce-
worse.
divorce is worse for the children.
You probably haven't seen this. Now, I don't know if you remember this guy, but this is the Endure guy. This is the guy.
There's a
that
guy
was-
from the podcast
the
that was
whatever
talking
podcast.
about you should stick in a relationship when you're getting abused.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the same guy. He's been doing his media tour of fuckery. He seems to have put his foot right in it. So he went on this podcast on the Valuetainment Network, and they were being asked various questions that you hear on these Red Pill podcasts. Now, just to be fair to Valuetainment, I actually like Valuetainment. I like the Saucecast. I don't think they're like the other ones. They seem to give a more nuanced and balanced opinion. And generally, when I see the girls on here, it's never really a nasty conversation. There might be disagreements, but the guy that hosts it, I can't remember his name, I think it's Adam, he's generally quite nice to the girls, even if I don't agree with his views. So I like this podcast and I enjoy watching it. There's a girl on here called Angela Knight, who's a subscriber of the channel. And we've been subscribed to her for a while as well, and she's on the podcast. I'm gonna let everybody else watch this. Most people have probably already seen it. I know you probably haven't seen this part. I want to get your reaction to it. I'll give my thoughts on it after, and then we're also going to talk about some other things that have come out about this guy.
MLD, last take.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life. I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So,
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Weren't you the same one who like fat shamed me like last week or so?
I don't know.
You think that's normal from a man, from a stranger to fat shame somebody?
I don't remember. Did I call you fat?
Okay.
Don't do that. You know where you were in the chat. You knew you were in the chat. Don't do that on camera.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
Don't do
have-
what?
you have like a- you have a
MLD, because
strange
you
way
were
of,
in the
like-
chat with your checkmark name doing that.
What was I
own
saying?
Up, listen, it's okay if you want to do those things,
Yeah.
but own up to what you do.
What was I
I
saying?
mean, women are apparently like CEO of not taking accountability, but I mean, I guess you should change your pronouns because I'd say you're kind of in the same bracket when it comes to that.
All right, I'll get right on that.
And that's not masculine energy.
Just
masculine energy owns
High value
up
men. Remember, I told you
to
that.
what
Don't
they
call people
say.
horse either.
I'm just saying. I mean, women can't handle criticism. I took that like a champ. That's fine. I'll take that. But I think you yourself as a man should probably work on that instead of saying that I don't want to traumatize women, because it definitely shows
I
that
don't
you
want
have.
to. I don't want to traumatize women.
We don't want to traumatize.
I find it funny that he's saying he doesn't want to traumatize women. Now, I find this especially funny because I know what's come out about him. You're about to find out. For any of
Okay.
you that haven't, we'll get to that in a bit. I find it funny that he is saying he doesn't want to traumatize women. Just on that part alone, nothing else that we know about. We'll talk about that in a bit. But just on that part alone, you're in the chat calling another woman fat. Now, if you were challenging her views, that's one thing. But calling her fat doesn't really challenge anything that she's saying. Being fat doesn't add to this conversation whatsoever. There's no need for the attack. And I think it's quite... I think it makes you look like a bit of a weasel when they call you up and then you sit there and you pretend like you don't know what you said. Now, I can understand that we've done loads of videos on this channel. There's probably going to be some things that I forget. And Angela's not like an unknown person. She's got a decent amount of subscribers on YouTube. She's been on these podcasts. He knows exactly who she is. And you can even see it on his face. And he doesn't want to own up to it. Now, if this was a woman doing that, these guys would have torn her to shreds, wouldn't they? they'd say, oh, lack of accountability. Just own up to
Yeah.
what you did. Look at his face now. He looks like he swallowed every red pill.
Yeah.
Man, either. That's the thing. So
Okay.
that's why it's easier to go to Japan and find the konnichiwa type of girl because they're not going to debate with you. That's the problem.
That's right. They're just robotic female slaves in Japan. They have no personalities.
It
They just
shows.
say konnichiwa.
Yeah, sumi-san, all that shit that you like. It's evident that you're used to women who don't check you when you're being irrational
Thanks.
and way out of place.
Thanks for the whole synopsis on the 37 years of my
It
life.
shows.
You've,
Well,
you've
age
arrived
really
here
doesn't
in the
mean to
hour
a
and
lot of
half.
people. It shows. Like, you could be, my grandma's 80 years old and still drives like shit. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I would have to say, you sound like somebody who really looks down on women with the way that, I mean, you even made a whole hit piece on that. I think that's weird.
I didn't make a hit piece on her.
This guy, you should really change your pronouns because I could see that's not your best trait to actually own up to what you do. And I think that's really disgusting.
Why don't you sit in your masculine energy and maybe just apologize for what you said? I think that that's very masculine. I think that's a great way because I feel like, number one, in a war, everyone thinks they're right?
Yes.
So I think that right now is a great opportunity for you to show that men can be masculine and have feelings and can also regress and think back about what they said. Maybe in the moment you said it because you got excited or whatever and you were just in this phase of yours. But I think sitting here in front of her, you're talking about that you want this wife and this submissive person and all of this, but where's your respect towards women?
Yes.
And don't you run like an
Just
entire
apologize
male
to her.
empowerment?
I think that's a very good point.
It is a good point, and I'm not trying to put anyone down or anything, but I think being 37 years old and still not finding someone, I think potentially he could be the problem.
Yeah, well, I mean, he moved to Japan to find, I don't think there's anything wrong with moving abroad to find a partner because maybe different cultures will have different types of people in them. And if you like that culture, I think that's okay. It depends on the reason that you go over there for. If you're going over to a country to find a woman that can't speak English and that you can prey on her, and because you've got a lot of money and influence and maybe she doesn't have as much, not that I think that's happening in Japan because they're a pretty rich nation, but just in general, the mentality that you take to moving abroad to find a partner, the context of that matters. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think you can do it for the wrong reasons. But I do find it weird that he's pretending like he doesn't know what's going on here. And I do find it a bit embarrassing that he can't just say sorry. There's nothing wrong with saying sorry if you stepped out of line. We've all done it.
Yeah.
I've done it. I did it just the other day when I was talking to somebody. It riled me up a little bit too much. And I said something out of line. I said, oh, do you know what? I take that back. That I shouldn't have said that. And it's okay. There's nothing feminine about saying, I stepped out. You don't have to double down about everything. I'm not saying don't double down either. There's certain things where I will 100% double down, even if 100 people don't like it. But if you feel like you've actually done something wrong, and it is wrong to just attack her for her weight when they're having a debate about something, whether you like the debate or not. The debate wasn't about her weight. It wasn't her encouraging people to put weight on anything like that. It was, and again, I don't even know why he's talking about her weight. She looks good from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
And he's not in the particular best shape I've seen.
Not at all.
I mean, he looks like he could stand to lose some weight. So talking about a woman who, even if she could stand to lose weight, I'm not saying she doesn't look bad to me, but even if she could, I don't think you should stand from that position when you look like you could stand to lose some weight as well. That doesn't really make any sense to me.
Thing, like, I think that's important that people look up to you. And you know what's funny? I actually subscribed to you prior to you doing that. And I thought that was so out of pocket. And I was like, wow, like people like you, respectfully to anyone that's listening. This is why I stepped out of the red pill space, because you guys are so quick to demonize women in the West. But mind you, all of these girls have been working since we were old enough to work. A lot of us have to retire our families. But instead of people seeing that, you guys demonize women for masculine traits when we're also working just like you. And I don't expect respect, but like there was no beef and it was so unnecessary. And I think that's accountability that some people should take, but to each their own.
Yes.
Just saying.
What are you upset that I called you fat?
This is upset. This is upset.
Clearly.
This is addressing.
Well,
and I
why
think
don't
that's
you want to
important
own up to
address.
what you said, though? Why
What
are you
was it? What was
denying
it that was said?
And if anything, we're kind of built the same, which is funny, dude. We're like, come on, man. You can't be sitting there acting like we're like, oh, and I'm like, dude, honestly, that's so out of pocket in so many ways.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
This came out of left field, but I don't know. I'm like tuned in right now. Like,
Yeah,
well, I
but
didn't even know
let
this
him-
was
let him
happening on
own
my
up-
show. But here we
Let him own
go.
up to what was
Here we go.
said and let him clear
So,
the room.
all
If
good.
we misinterpreted,
Ladies, hold on.
if we didn't
All right.
understand, let him
So
clear the air.
guys, let me just host the show for a second. You're upset because why?
I think that, listen, criticism, sure, but be real and own up to whatever mistake you make. Because again, you are leading whatever group
What
you
did
are.
I say? What is so upsetting? I don't get it. Why didn't you talk to me?
Is this chick supposed to be attractive?
Why
You
didn't
do all this content and you comment all these things, but you don't remember what you do. But you have all the comments to be made.
No, it's okay. I'll just endure this like I should in an abusive relationship.
Okay, so MLD, what do you?
This guy is getting backed into a corner now.
He is, and that's what's funny about it, is that he really can't hold his own right now. Like, it's like he needs all the other men there who are clever speaking and know what they're talking about, that can handle themselves. But when he's by himself, he can't do it.
What he's done here is he's kind of hit himself with a double whammy. He could have been a prick and said, yeah, I doubled down on what I said, fuck you, and you're fat. He could have done that.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would have all called him a prick, but I would have been like, all right, cool, he's doubled down. But what he's doing is very...
Stands by what he means, yeah.
Yeah, he stands by what he means, but this guy's being a weasel now. He's pretending like he doesn't know. He knows. He knows. You know, we do videos on people that are not celebrities or whatever. They're not like well-known people that appear on podcasts or whatever.
Yeah.
And we might forget that we've said something. But Angela's not one of those people. People know who she is. She's the girl that flew from London to Miami. You know the Unfiltered podcast that we covered? She was one of the people behind that. I think she stepped out of the red pill space now because those guys are goofballs. I don't know what she was doing with them.
Yeah.
But I hope she's not on that podcast anymore because they're worse than they're some of the worst that I've seen. But these red pill guys, they talk about accountability, they talk about responsibility. But look at him now. Either double down on your fuckery, or just say sorry. Like, don't sit there pretending like you don't know what you said. You know exactly what you said.
I don't know where this is going. I don't know if he does end up apologizing. But if he does, it will be even more embarrassing now because of how much he's sort of like longed it out.
Yeah, you've longed it out now. So
bullshit.
Either way, whatever you do now, it's going to be embarrassing. But don't worry, this is going somewhere. Or I'm not going to say fun because it's honestly quite disgusting. But
oh no.
Yeah, no. This is what happens when you go on a podcast and you start saying shit like women should endure abuse. Kind of throw yourself under the bus, but we'll get there in a minute.
Recall of this.
I'm still waiting for that. Like, I don't get it. What was said that made you so upset?
This is the problem. So if we reverse the roles, if a woman addressed this, you'd be
Sorry,
like, you're
just
being
not
emotional.
gonna answer the question.
There is nothing. I've
Why
said
don't
it like
you
5
answer the
times.
question?
I'm asking the question. Well, why are you so mad?
This is
She's
mad?
already said it.
Because
What do you-
what?
Fine.
What do you she did it?
He said you saying that
Did you see his hand? He's shaking. It was like this. He knows he's been backed up into a corner, and the girl's sitting at the back. I can't remember what her name is. The pretty black girl in the back.
Yeah.
She's not letting him
Yeah,
off the hook.
she's on fire.
Yeah, she's got it there. She's got all the receipts. She knows
Yeah.
exactly what you said. You can't go on these rants against women all the time and then pretend. Just double down. Just double down. I would have respected that more. If you just double down.
They
and
probably
said,
would have respected it more as well.
yeah, at least we know where you stand. But now we know, okay, when you get called on certain things, and I'm glad that all of these girls are ganging up against him because this is exactly what they do to these girls on these podcasts. They get a couple people that are well known that maybe you might see them and think, I don't want to talk shit about them because they've got a lot of clout. And they attack this one girl because she can't enunciate properly or she can't give a more nuanced take because she's being told it's a yes or no, and then they attack them. Good, attack this prick. He deserves exactly what he gets. You're sitting on a podcast telling women that they should endure abuse. Endure this, bro. Enjoy it.
he called you fat and you're addressing
To
it.
just take accountability for it. Like, oh my bad, I was
Because
probably
he's
just slurring
talking
on
about
Hennessy.
women that they have to do X, Y, and Z and all this what they have to do,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't, treat women badly because they have to submit to you. And in Tokyo or whatever, they're so feminine and this and that. But it's here, you come here, and when there's women are making valid points and there are respectable women, you come in the chat and you fat shame or you go and make pieces about people or whatever it is that you want to do. At the end of the day, all that's being said is that, listen, if you're going to do those things, own up to it and then make your point about it. If you're going to do these things and you're not going to own up to it, and then what's the point? You're just what, bullying people?
What's up with, there's no integrity in what you stand on. Nowadays, you're running a space where men stand on principles and honor, but you see someone's face and you completely dismiss the fact that was disgusting. Disgusting. We're not in a Call of Duty lobby. I don't know you. It wasn't like I've said something to you. I said anything to you. I've stepped out of the combative space of the red pill stuff because of guys like you. And you prove my point to it. It's like, I don't know you. You don't have to do that, and that's fine. It's fine if I said, you're not my preference. I've never attacked you before.
Right.
But
I'm
again,
still waiting for what made you upset.
it's okay. Right now, we're gonna call you the delusional girl.
All right, how about I just...
And we can just stick
you want
to
to just
that.
leave? Because this is retarded.
No, I will.
Why would you leave,
You're
though?
upset
Why
because
would you leave?
Leave?
He's gone so red.
Yeah, you literally look like you swallowed every single red pill in your space, bro. You've gone super red and you want to leave. Isn't that what they do to these girls? Then they rip into them. Yeah, look, do you know what? They could clip it and say delusional feminist gets up off podcast and it would be this guy. That's what they do. Some of these girls go on these podcasts. They don't even say that they're feminist. They don't talk about feminism. Then they get clipped and they're like delusional feminist storms off podcast.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care if you like believe certain things. It's like when you're being disingenuous and when you can't back up. When someone's calling you face to your face on what you've said, if you're like, because you're a human being, you can say I had a bad take. It's not really you bowing your head to that person. If anything, it does show a level of integrity and it shows a level of reflection that you can say some of the things I've said are dumb. Like we said before, we've made loads of videos on this channel. I'm sure there's a handful, maybe more, where I would look back on them and say, yeah, do you know what? That was a cringy thing to say. And the other thing is that I don't understand why people can't show growth, because I'm very open in saying that there was a time when this red pill stuff was really exploding that I almost got sucked into it. I was watching their videos and some of the things they were saying were resonating with me. Some of the bad experiences I've had with women were resonating with me. And I almost got sucked into it. And I know people that have been sucked into like where feminism has gone, where there's a lot of these like crazy feminists that are saying these things that are just not rooted in reality or hating on men. And I have female friends that have said, yeah, I almost got sucked into that as well because of my bad experiences. I don't have to double down it. I don't have to support all men and the things that they say, just like you don't have to support all women. It's the same thing when we were watching, I think his name is Douglas Murray, the guy that we were laughing at on the Piers Morgan show.
Yeah.
And he's gay. And the guy that he was arguing with was also gay. And they were arguing over Sam Smith. And because Douglas Murray wasn't for Sam Smith or the way that he's behaving, the other guy turned around to him and said, well, you're a disgrace to the gay community. You don't have to be a part of these communities. I don't have to support every single man and the shit that comes out of their mouths just because I'm male. Sabi's not going to support every single woman that says things just because they're female. And if you're gay, trans, or whatever, the same should apply to you. Just because that's what you are doesn't mean you have to ride with the whole community. And that's the problem with a lot of these red pill guys. And I have friends that have been sucked into this. They're deep in it. And when you say things to them, you can see the gears turning and they're like, yeah, what he's saying is making sense, but they won't admit it.
Yeah, you've just got to stand by what you actually believe to each individual sort of conversation and point, and stop focusing so much on who the person is or what they are, etc. Yeah,
don't be afraid to step out of your group and maybe call them on some of their bullshit.
Yeah.
Whether that's your friends or just a community that you would affiliate yourself with. Sometimes you'll hear things and you'll be like, no, I don't fuck with that. And like I've said before, there's things that they say in the red pill community. I'm like, yeah, that does make sense. But then there's things that they say where I'm like, that's crazy. That's not true.
Yeah, like for example, Myron, there's some things he says that I can get behind. And then there's some things he says that I really can't get behind.
Yeah, and the thing is that if I spoke to Myron, I am fairly confident that if we had a decent conversation off a podcast, because I understand on shows where loads of people are watching, people might amp up their personalities.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I can have a conversation with him because I've seen him speaking to Destiny and we disagree on some things and it doesn't turn into like vitriol and hate. But the problem is that a lot of these people that ride for people like Myron or ride for, even people that like Ethan Klein, they're on the other side where they're also completely full of shit. I was watching Ethan the other day saying Abba and Preach hates women and that they're exactly the same as Fresh and Fit, which is just a lie. People that watch Ethan Klein will ride for him and they'll make every excuse under the sun. And they're also very emotional and you can't really pull them on it because they'll go, yeah, but, it's like this. I just let them talk. I can't be bothered to engage in that conversation because they're too busy with riding for this person. The fact of the matter is that Ethan Klein's an idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's disingenuous. To say Abba and Preach hate women is just a lie. That is a straight up lie. There's no way that he could watch anything they've said and think that. And he got annoyed because they were defending Fresh and Fit. Remember that girl was making accusations against Myron. I'm never going to throw Myron under the bus and say that he assaulted a woman just because I don't like some of the shit that came out of his mouth. Right? But that's what Ethan Klein wants to do because he's more concerned with taking Myron down than getting to the truth. The fact of the situation. If a girl accuses a man of assault and he hasn't done it, it doesn't matter who it is. You don't just say, we're going to throw him under the bus and we're going to push her to say something that's going to get clicks on the internet. That's why Ethan is a disingenuous person that shouldn't be taken seriously. And you're not going to take down Myron by lying about him. All that's going to happen is that people with integrity are going to go and look at what actually happened. And then they're going to have
You're
to
gonna
defend the
look
guy.
dumb, yeah.
Yeah, and you're the one that's going to look dumb. And guess what? It's going to funnel more subscribers to them. All of these people that ride exclusively for their favorite YouTuber or their favorite ideology, and they can't see the nuance in things. They can't see that human beings are very complex. And you just put women in one bracket and you just put men in one bracket. Those people, and I think a lot of them are quite young. I think people think we're younger than what we are. We're not 20. I've seen some of the comments on it. We're not 20 years old. I think those people will learn eventually as they go through life. I'm over 30 now. I've experienced a lot. A lot of the shit that they say on the red pills thing, I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. I can get behind some of that. And a lot of it is nonsense. And the same goes for people like Ethan.
You literally are. You're an example.
Can
for
somebody
men.
tell me what I
You're an
said that everybody's
example
so
for
upset
men
about that I'm
that
still
you
waiting
make
on?
content
What was the
for.
example that, just to be clear?
I'll do the three. Was it three? Nah, I'm pretty sure it was. Is this chick supposed to be attractive? 1, 2. She's 40 pounds too heavy.
Yep.
XYZ. Something about weight. I wouldn't listen to her. Like you just went on a rant. It was like.
How do you know that was him, though?
Because it was his name with the check mark in the chat.
Do you recall doing that?
I guess so. So
Okay,
you're
so
mad.
now you recall.
You're mad because I said.
Oh,
You are a
no.
bitch. Bitch made. I guess so.
Oh, here it goes.
You're done, bro. Just get up and go, man.
Here
You
it
do yourself a
goes.
favor, actually. The more you look how red his face is now. The more you talk now, it's done. It's done. Mr. Endure.
This whole thing was so embarrassing.
You wanna tell women to enjoy abusive relationships, but you can't even endure a bit of scrutiny from a female host on the panel. Bitch made, bro.
Ouch.
You're 40 pounds overweight. I'm on every chat. I'm in Fresh and Fit. You know how it is when you're a streamer. You're in all these chats. I did like 6 shows in the last 6 days.
So just say sorry.
So just own up to being a piece of shit.
Well, no. So I'm not. So first of all, I'm not a piece of shit.
You don't
So
think that's
talk to
piece
me
of
like
shit
that.
behavior?
Okay, don't talk to me like that. All right.
see you're
Secondly,
upset.
all right.
So you want to get angry at Destiny's wife because she said that you're a piece of shit, which you are.
Everyone can have their opinion.
Yeah, you are a piece of shit. And you deserve to be spoken to like that. If you're going to go into a stream, you're not going to actually push back on the points and you're just going to say, is this girl supposed to be taken seriously because she's a bit overweight?
Yeah, why is it okay for you to say what you want to say about women, but somebody can't call you a piece of shit?
Yeah. And you
Based off of the way you're treating people.
Yeah, you are a piece of shit. You are a piece of
You
shit.
can't call him that.
Oh, 100% can.
You call him that.
You're going to see why in a minute.
But he's not a piece of shit.
You're a fat piece of shit, bro.
Oh.
You know that scene in Jurassic Park where the guy goes
No,
and finds
I
the
don't.
steg... You haven't seen Jurassic Park? All right, we're not going to get into that. Anyway, the people that have seen it, you know that part where they go over to the Stegosaurus or whatever and it's taking a human-sized shit that you can walk through? That's still too small for you.
All right, let me see it.
What, the Jurassic Park?
No, this.
Oh.
This
What, you want
piece
to
of
watch
shit.
Jurassic Park.
Right. I said what I said. I do think maybe you were 40 pounds overweight.
Sure.
So what's wrong with that?
We can match each other's energy. All I had to say was you need to like own up to your shit because it's weird that you
I
would
just
face
did.
me. Yeah, after like pulling teeth. Are you good?
No, after you talking over me and freaking
This was
trauma
all-
dumping
Did I say
live
that?
on
I
the
don't know what I said.
show.
See what I said? I don't know when you know what I said.
words and like
No one spoke over you,
No,
bro.
you just didn't have anything to say.
You sat there like a puffer fish, looking red in the face. You weren't talking. We all watched this. Angela was talking, and all you said was, what did I say? You weren't pushing. You know exactly what you said. Because you said, yeah, I guess so.
He's trying to redeem.
Very masculine of you.
you throw them on people, but if I acted the way you act, you would demonize me. If I literally attacked you the way you attacked me, if I said the things that's disrespectful. If another man said the shit that you said to me, oh, that's fighting words. But yet a woman says it to you, oh, she's being dramatic, she's masculine, she's emotional. But
I didn't call you any of those
where's
things.
the vein coming out of my neck that I'm so triggered right now that, oh, she's mad? I think it's disgusting that you act the way. It's so like unattractive and not manly, but yet you sit here and shame women. Oh, I can't wait to go back to Japan. I just think there again, you're leading a bunch of cows to follow you and you're like, yeah, this is how men should act. That's not how men in my family and in my life act. And it's so unattractive that you think that's normal. So you are part of the problem in the West is what I'm basically saying.
Okay.
So let's try to put a silver lining on this thing. This came out.
Fucking Christ.
How should he have acted, in your opinion?
We walked in the green room. All you had to do was say, hey, no hard feelings. I was just on the little juice a little bit. I was tripping. My bad. I would have been like, all right, bro, like all fair is word. That's fine. I would have dropped it. But the fact that you walk in the room, you don't address it, you sit here, it's like awkward. And I'm like, this is how, again, people like you want women to submit to this garbage nonsense. And you're, well, women are not submissive. Why would I submit to that type of activity? But again, this is showbiz. That's fine.
You're totally entitled to that. I'll give you,
I didn't even know who she is when I was in the waiting room.
That's the whole point.
Oh my God. You are meant for the camera, my friend. You are something else. You don't know who she was when you were in the chat?
No.
No.
In the
it's
camera,
fine.
in the back room?
No, it's okay.
All right, well, how about this?
Oh my God.
Is there anything you would like to take back or apologize? Whatever you want.
No, not after being treated like that.
He's been cooked.
He just keeps digging that hole deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, you've been cooked.
Yeah, she don't really knows how to handle herself.
Yeah, and she
I
didn't
like
come
it.
across upset at all.
No.
She eloquently put a point across that you are a piece of shit. You've kind of reinforced that by saying, I don't even know who she is, blah, blah, blah. Well, why are you talking shit then?
There was just no need to say that. I think that just made it worse.
Yeah. I mean, maybe you don't know who she is, but why are you saying that? Like, you're the one that said what you said. You know that you said what you said. You admitted it after being pulled on it for about 5 minutes. And then you're saying like it doesn't make any sense. Just sit on what you believe and keep it moving. And it's too late to say, oh, I admit to it, because they were literally pressing you for like 5-10 minutes before you said, yeah, I guess so. You didn't even really sit on it. You kind of dipped your toe in it.
Absolutely not. I'm not going to be talked down to by like some child that has no decency to communicate with me in a respectful manner.
It starts with you. What
Okay.
man leads a relationship like that? You don't even
She's
have to
not
lead
talking
a
down,
general
though.
space.
All right, you guys are better than me. You win. Cool. Next question, please.
Amazing.
Anyway,
She's not talking down to you. She's
you guys good?
She's confronting
Amazing.
You guys good? All right.
You see that? It can't communicate me with decency. Calls her a child. Yeah, you're in a chat donating money just to say, should she be taken seriously? She's 40 pounds overweight. Is this woman attractive? Who's really the child here? I mean, you've got a chance to speak there. You're the one saying, let's move on, because you ain't got shit to say.
It really is abusing people for no reason as well.
Yeah.
It's uncalled for.
And this guy likes abusing women, as we're about to see in just a moment.
Women should also stick around for that as well.
Yeah, they should endure it.
Yep.
And if you ever hear a guy saying that he believes women should endure abuse in relationship, I think it's probably fair to assume he's saying that because he's put women through abuse.
Yeah.
Like 3 more topics to get to, but I'm sitting in the middle of this like, holy shit. Anyway, I hope you guys at least after the show can hug it out. I don't know if that's possible.
I got a
Maybe
hard out
mud
at 6, I
wrestle.
told you.
Okay, we got to get you on. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this last segment. This came out of nowhere. This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen. As we're doing this, production team, real quick, I know we're wrapping up. MLD literally has to go. He's not walking off. No. He said at 6 o'clock he needed to hard out at 6 o'clock right now. MLD, final words before you run off. I don't want to go out like this. Anything you would like to say before you do?
I got nothing to say. I'm out.
See? My point.
All right, brother.
I'll text you. Thank you. Sorry.
Of course, bro. Joey, let's make sure he gets out safely.
Oh shit.
Wow. Anyway,
And we're the ones that get
He's
our
not having a
period.
good
guys,
week.
I'm just
saying.
Doesn't that look familiar? Right? No one kicked him off. He ejected because he got cooked. He literally looked like he got cooked. I've never seen a man's face so red.
If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
It is. Go on.
if it would happen, what would you recommend for those people? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce, and that's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically abusive?
You got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick into the relationship?
People are just.
See, I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just.
For anyone that might be in that situation, what would you recommend?
Okay,
Endure.
here's- I'll tell
Would
you
they
what.
give
I'll,
up
I'll tell you what.
divorce?
It is such an extreme example that I can't give a prescription for what other people should do.
What about if two people get married, they have a kid, and then the wife starts cheating? Do you think they should divorce?
Absolutely. Jesus himself said, in cases of adultery, divorce is
So you think that
permissible.
divorce is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Or
children.
cheating, sorry. You think that cheating is worse than physical abuse?
For the
Sorry.
children, yes.
I think I'm not going to say this is
Divorce?
worse.
Divorce
I mean,
is worse
I-
for the
I-
children.
You remember that, yeah? Okay. You guys all remember that bullshit that came out of his mouth.
But I did say if there was one instance, because relationships, every relationship has fights. Every relationship has ups and downs. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. Okay? There's conflict in relationships. Period. Even the happiest couples in the world, they have conflict. And anybody who denies that, like I said, they're lying.
So that's obviously misrepresenting what they were talking about. Everybody has arguments. So me and Sabi had an argument a little while ago. Remember we were arguing? Did I smack you?
Yeah.
Do you think? Okay. it's a bit different when you smack your partner to when you argue, right? It's a
Yeah.
bit different if you're having an argument with your friend and you have a disagreement over something. Then if I punched you in the face because we didn't agree on something.
Yeah.
Those are two different types of conflicts. Conflicts come in many forms. They were talking about physical abuse. Physical abuse.
Just a man abusing the woman, to
Yeah.
be specific.
That's
yeah.
what they were talking about. Now, it's not to say women don't abuse men. We're not saying that. But specifically on this topic, they were talking about men that abuse women. Should women leave? And then they said straight away, without even thinking, if a woman cheats, the man should leave. No mention of endure. So he's misrepresenting what he's saying, right?
It's a cop out.
Yeah, it's a massive cop-out. And he's lying.
Good memories.
Good memories, right?
Wow.
That's a screen grab that was sent over to ABBA of this guy, Supreme Leader. Of course, he called himself that.
Yeah. Makes
Holding
sense.
a gun in his display pic, I guess, to show that he's masculine. I don't know. Saying that he punched a Latina girl in the face at Rakan. I don't know what Rakan is. I assume it's some Japanese club or something. Good memories.
But the way he's referred to her as well, it shows what sort of person he is
Yeah.
and how he thinks towards women as well.
Yeah, you can see on the screen how he's
Yeah.
spoken about her. So that's a confession. He's literally saying that that's what he did. That's not a joke. That's not something that you'd find in some group chat where people are like saying something outlandish or sharing a meme or anything. This is him confessing that he punched a Latina woman in the face, and it's a good memory. Where somebody has said to him, "I've never been arrested for glassing a girl." You guys can see how they refer to it on the screen again. And he says, the Endure guy says, "Lo, you're taking that as a direct comment to save you. So sensitive. You gonna leave next, Kek." I don't know. Kek's like a frog sound, I think. I don't know. But, which is funny because he looks like one. I'm assuming he's probably said a bunch of things in this group chat. And then people have probably left because they're like, oh, I'm assuming most people sane of mind understand the difference between a joke and when somebody's literally saying they're abusing women. Lots of stupid in that bull in that bull market. Lots of stupid in this one too. Not sensitive, just giving back some, is what the guy replied. You act like that's the last girl I will smite on this planet. Smite.
What does smite mean?
You know when they say God will smite you for, doing something, being sacrilegious or like saying something taboo, like if you start insulting God now, he'd smite you, like shoot lightning at you or something. He's basically saying he's gonna swat a woman like a fly. If you heard me saying I'm gonna go smite a girl, that means whoever I'm going to smite is gonna be in the ER probably, or A&E by the morning.
Whose group chat is this?
This is one of his group chats. And somebody in his group chat has been leaking the messages.
But who was it writing those messages? It's not him, is it?
Yeah, it's MLD that's writing these messages.
Holding the gun as well in the picture.
That's Mr. Endure.
No.
That's him.
Oh my God.
Does it not make sense now? Of course he'd want women to endure. He's the one abusing them. He thinks they should stick around for his abuse.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Who did you think it was?
No, that's why I was confused.
Yeah, this is MLD. Supreme Leader is MLD. He's the one.
Wow.
He's over there talking about Japanese women. Oh, they're so feminine. This, that, and the other. Meanwhile, he's abusing them as well. Also, how would you kill this bitch for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go. Big old monkey wrench to the head.
He's not all right in the head.
You.
He is not all right in the head.
And then he posted a picture of her. So obviously her picture's been blurred to protect her identity. But that is a crazy thing to say. That's not even a joke. This is the difference between people shooting the shit and making dumb comments about men or women, and then actually talking about confessing that you're beating a woman, and then posting pictures of her saying, how should I bludgeon her? Bludgeon? Have you seen what someone looks like after you bludgeon them? Shit's hard to look at. Time to beat Aya. I'm going to beat Aya for not being pretty enough. I have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
This guy is mentally insane, and
Yeah.
he's definitely got issues 100%. This is not normal behavior.
Yeah, no, he's sick in the head.
Yeah.
And I do think that something needs to happen. Like the Japanese government should see this and put him on a watch list at the very least.
Yeah.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
I'm gonna beat Aya for not being pretty enough. So why are you wasting your time with her then if she's not pretty enough?
Because I don't know, maybe
He's got like alpha male issues. Like he wants to be this alpha male and he's not.
Yeah.
So he abuses women to make himself feel better. He would never step up to a guy like this.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's alpha male issues because an alpha would never do this. Alphas are leaders.
When I say it's alpha male issues, is that he wants to be an alpha, but he's not.
He's doing it the wrong
So
way.
it's the issue of, it's an alpha male issue in terms of he wants to be alpha and he's not.
Yeah.
So he's reacting like this. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think what you're trying to say is that he's trying to be supreme leader, like he's putting his name.
Yeah,
but
and he's not.
You're no leader. No man of any status puts his hands on a woman like this. Just what you think because she's not pretty enough that gives you the right to beat her. Are
He's
you
been
sick in
watching
the
too
head?
many movies.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of movies you've been watching, bro. But whatever you're watching, stop now.
He thinks he's Scarface or something.
I don't even know if Scarface would say some shit like this. This is crazy.
Sorry.
I think we need to do a Halloween meetup in celebration of this market. I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group.
It's like he thinks he's funny, but it's just not funny.
Are you in like some terrorist group chat or something? What the hell is this? Who talks like that?
Yeah.
Why would you want to... Do you know the last time that we spoke about women in our boys group chat? Do you know what we said? We found this place. I'll just give you guys some context for the difference between what he's saying and what I assume normal people say. I found this place in the UK. It was apparently called the capital of the lesbians.
Okay.
Right? It's a town where there's only lesbians.
Okay.
So I said to the guys, and this was a joke. I said to them, as a joke, why don't we go up there? Because there's going to be so many lesbians up there that the girls that aren't lesbians are going to really appreciate the attention that they get from men because there's so many lesbians up there. So let's go up there. I'll show you word for word. Let's go up there and show these ladies a good time, treat them like queens, and then come home. It's not. It wasn't even really a joke. Like they kind of said, "I'm not traveling 4 hours to do that." Blah blah blah. It was a throwaway comment. Now, someone like him would probably see a town of lesbians and be like, "Let's go up there and let's see how many lesbians we can bottle."
Yeah.
Let's try and convert them or some crazy shit like
Yeah.
that. Not let's find the girls that want men from London that, and go out and have a good time with them. Let's go and bottle these girls.
But it's just crazy how he is saying, I want a girl who's not traumatized when he's out here traumatizing women.
Yeah.
And he obviously doesn't want someone who's been through that because he knows what he's doing and how women are because people like him exist.
Yeah, literally. You see this character on my top here? That's you, bro. That's you, M. Bison. This guy, villain, true villain. This is the kind of character that would bottle a woman and laugh about it. That's you.
People like this annoy me so bad. And they get all the attention and do you know what I'm saying? People listen to them and it's like...
Come on, there's no way that like people... Because he's got over 200,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is crazy to me, this goofball. He doesn't even practice what he preaches. He's talking about like this girl, like she's overweight, this, that, and the other. Meanwhile, you don't look great yourself, buddy.
He does sound like he has hate towards women.
Yeah, 100% he has hate towards women. Any man that's like going in the group chat saying, I'm going to bottle a girl for the honor of the group. What are you talking about?
And that girl he was saying no one should take her serious because she's overweight. Is that what he said?
Yeah, he said,
Yeah.
oh, why are we even listening to her? She's 40 pounds overweight. Does anyone take her seriously? Why does anyone take you seriously? You're talking about muscles. One of his, I can't remember what it was like money, muscles, and something else. You don't have, like, I don't know, maybe you do under that suit. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. It didn't look like it to me. It looks like you stand to lose some weight as well. If that happens, I have so much fucking money, I'm going to glass like 17 bitches.
For why?
I mean, where's the joke? It's not funny. I'm glad that some people left your group chat when you started speaking like this because, I mean, at least someone in there has sense. They have a punching bag there. Looks like, I don't even understand that. Looks like fucking Thor. I don't get it. No, you can punch me. I got diamond hands. Be careful. I'll just punch some bitch in the face and prep for 2021 clubs.
Wow, he actually just constantly says it all the time. Like it's not a one-off. You know what I'm saying? You might think he done it as a one-off, as a joke, but he is constantly saying it.
I don't think. I think with the leaking of these group chats, the fact that like there appears to be a lot of validity to them because they're screen recordings. They're not just screen grabs. So apparently they were fact checked, and this actually did happen. I think that the Japanese government should consider either putting this guy on a watch list, banning him from going to clubs. I mean, why would you even want someone like this in your country?
No.
You don't want them around your women.
No, but we don't want him in America either.
We don't want him over here either. Send him somewhere else. Hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi. I think that's a club in Japan. And the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is it true? So I think this is somebody reaching out to another girl that had been attacked. So I think this might be 2 girls that had been attacked by him. And the girl said, yes, true. What him make for the girl? So obviously this is a Japanese girl. Her English might not be the best. His name is Jonathan Hogwood. His Instagram is Hot Dude Life. You should also tell police because he is dangerous to women. Yeah, and her English isn't great there. It's because I don't want confused, but him is crazy. Yeah, so we get the gist. He is crazy. He's mad. He's nuts to be talking about women like this. The person that contacted the Japanese girl said, yes, I know he is a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in the face? The Japanese girl replied saying, yes. What happened with the girl? So they put a screen grab up of him on his Instagram, Hot Dude Life. And
Hot Dude Life.
Yeah, for real, dude. What the fuck? It was this Supreme Leader wasn't bad enough. And it was definitely this guy. He grabbed a girl, and when she shoved him away, he threw a glass in her face, cutting her forehead.
Oh. He's not even just like smacking or hitting a woman. Like, he's taking it to extremes. Like, he could have made her blind for the rest of her life.
Yeah, he literally could have blinded her.
This is bad abuse.
Could have scarred her. You know, you're going to like a foreign country, taking your bad behavior. Not that women over here deserve any of that either, but then you go over there and you start abusing them as well. No wonder these countries don't want us foreigners going over to them. Most of us are peaceful. Most of us want to go to Japan and just enjoy the culture. Most of us have a deep respect for a lot of these places and wouldn't go over there. And you get pieces of shit like this that garner massive followings who go over there and start abusing their women. And I guarantee you there's going to be people that are defending him. There will be people defending him. There's no defense for throwing a bottle in a woman's face just because she rejected you. Take your L and go home. It's a shame you didn't tell the police. You could have gotten money from him. He should be punished.
Yeah, he should be.
Yeah, they should take
Absolutely
all this money.
should be.
Someone like this. Like I obviously we're very against like cancel culture and that. Like we generally like the culture surrounding it. I'm not for it. But there's going to be instances and there's going to be individuals that definitely should not have a platform. They shouldn't be allowed to put out their harmful messages to people. This is one of those guys. He's trying to advise men on how to be masculine in that, and then also bottling women. It doesn't line up.
No, it doesn't.
I don't understand how people can defend bullshit like this. Like as far as I was aware, men were supposed to be the protectors of women. That's
the abusers.
Not the abusers. And you're telling men to be masculine. What does that mean? Are you saying being masculine is to abuse people that are weaker than you? How would you feel if someone did this to your mum? How would you feel if you saw if your mum was out with her friends, not at a club or anything, just enjoying herself? Some guy approaches her. Oh, I want your number. The conversation doesn't go the way he wants. Even if she's a bit rude to him, then what he does is, let me take a bottle and throw it in her face. How would you feel if that was your mum? I'm sure you wouldn't like it. I don't know. Maybe this guy is such a piece of shit that he might go, oh, she deserved it. And
maybe he's got mummy issues and that's what's made him this way.
Oh, he's got issues. He's got a lot of issues. Do you know what? Like, it's not hard to believe. I mean, he's telling women to endure abuse. This red pill space is just exploding. Like, it's been one thing after the other in the past couple of weeks. And it's not that like we are jumping on a bandwagon. It's just that they give very absolute statements about women. They make all women seem like 304s or hoes or OnlyFans. Pearl is another one where her platform is just, most of it is just full of shit. I even went on her Instagram page the other day, right? And I understand why people have this idea about women. Look at what she put up on her Instagram. This is Pearl's Instagram. Please send me strippers, OnlyFans models, waitresses, and college students.
Wow.
That's who she was recruiting for. This was on her story. Right? I screen grabbed it because I was like, why? Why? We understand how these girls might think.
They're just trying to paint a negative picture of women.
Yeah, you think
clicks.
All women have OnlyFans. You think all women are strippers. They're all these models and you want to get college students on there that are not, they don't understand a lot of things about life. So they might say things or repeat things they hear on the internet. And then you try to say, see, all these women are dumb. This is how they all think, this, that, and the other, and then not hold men to the same standard or not hold their feet to the fire and question them on things. And when men do go on her podcast and say, oh, you know, I don't really like how that sounds, they also call them feminist. They say they're simps. They just want to get their dick wet. They don't know how else to do it other than to simp over women and agree with what they're saying. They're full of shit. They're exactly the same as the other side. They're just doing it for the other side. All the feminists that we complain about, all of these people that try to force things on people or shame you for having a certain line of thinking, these guys are exactly the same. They're just doing it on the other side. They're not any different.
Last show, a few panelists, when asked, well, I think it was one panelist, but when asked what advice they'd give to women who are physically abused in relationships, said the partner should stay in the relationship and endure. Curious your takes, Brian and Pearl, and the rest of the panel too. Okay, yeah, this is like went crazy viral on Twitter and a couple other places.
I the group chat.
Yeah, our house
Yeah, first off, the short clip that Mel posted, I don't know if she had edited it or if it was somebody else, was like cut. It was pretty heavily.
So they're trying to make out like Melina, Destiny's wife, took the situation out of context. Melina's clip that she put on TikTok made you guys look better. The full context makes you look worse. You're getting that all wrong. That clip in its entirety is much worse than the clips that are being put up. If you go and watch the Whatever podcast and you watch our version of it, we got the most important parts of it. I watched the full thing. The whole podcast makes it look worse. So she did you a favor. If more people have seen the clip, they've actually helped you out.
And it was straight to the point.
Yeah, straight to the point. That's all people need to hear. But if people think that they're being taken out of context, go and watch the full thing. So I guarantee the full thing is worse.
Let's say John is beating his wife, right? And his wife comes to the church leadership and she's like, hey, like, this is a problem.
With two black
I want to
guys,
divorce him.
like, hey,
you know,
this guy
at that
whooped my
point.
ass.
MLD was saying that you should endure. I'm not even sure if he said, like, I think he was talking about in general, but like, because she threw in, well, what should you do in divorce? And then she threw in this other stuff about abuse. I mean, point blank period, my take is, if you're being abused, whether emotionally, physically, whatever it may be, but your question is physically abused, like, get out, like, end the relationship, get divorced, like, don't stay.
He's talking shit.
Pure shit.
They're talking mad shit. The thing is that when you say stuff on the internet, it stays there forever. Just admit that, look, that podcast has been viewed over 1 million times now on YouTube. Just the entire, it's a 5-hour podcast. It's been watched 1 million times. I'm sure most people went to that specific part, but again, I would encourage you to watch the whole thing. It makes it look worse. It's indefensible what was being said there. And MLD was taking the piss. It's not funny when women get abused. It has never been funny. Like, it's okay if a comedian goes on stage and starts making jokes. We've laughed about that before. Bill Burr's got a really, really funny part where he talks about why you shouldn't hit a woman, but why there's 100 reasons to hit her. And he kind of makes light of the fact that he wouldn't put his hands on a woman, but sometimes when he's sitting there playing his game or watching something and she's in his ear talking shit and then she eventually smacks his headphones off his head, everything in him is like, you probably deserve a slap. Now, he tells it in a much funnier way, but again, he's joking. But there's a difference between that and a guy coming on a dating podcast talking about women should endure and then making jokes about a woman that's got a black eye. MLD's not a comedian.
And then seeing that this is what he does in real life.
Yeah, now you got the context. So he was being literal.
Yeah.
He wants Japanese women to
joke.
endure.
Yeah.
He wants them to sit there, shut up, take his licks, and keep making him food or whatever.
Yeah, when I watched the full clip, I was actually really surprised because I didn't really take it that that's what he meant. But when they cut it up like that, it just seemed like he said something he didn't say. But that's what a lot of these like reactions.
She's so full of shit.
Oh my God.
First of all, yeah, Pearl's been on this tirade against reaction channels. Pearl, part of your channel is a reaction channel as well. You react to videos. You literally open videos saying, hey guys, today we're going to be reacting to this, that, and the other. And by that same token, so are other people in your network. They talk about reaction channels, but we saw King Richards doing the same thing. He's got a whole thing where he sits there just reacting to videos. Sometimes he's sitting there with other YouTubers reacting to videos. You're also a reaction channel. I don't know why you keep on saying, oh, reaction channels, this, that, and the other. And everybody that's seen the full thing knows that it's worse than the clips. Melina did you guys a favor when she clipped it. You would be lucky if more people have seen that clip. She's such a grifter. She can't,
honestly.
She cannot just be like, yeah, do you know what? These guys had a bad take. is she's always got to say like some bullshit about women or defend men that are saying bad things. She's so disingenuous. It's written all over her face. I don't know how people can't see it.
And I'll say this as a content creator, like a lot of the reaction channels will take clips to like put you out of context and like say things that you didn't say, and kind of like it's really dishonest, honestly.
And Mel, the Destiny's wife, it was her clip that she made, which I think is pretty disingenuous, because if you watch the whole thing, I think
I can understand people do sometimes clip things and take it out of context, but that wasn't taken out of context at all.
No.
It was what it was, and if you watch the full thing, you'll see that it's just a condensed version of what it was.
Yeah, and again, Pearl, stop saying these reaction channels. Your channel is also partially a reaction channel. Your channel was built off of getting your friends to react to Jordan Peterson. Getting this is white girl reacts to this, white girl reacts to that. That's what your channel originally started as. And you still do reaction videos. So what the hell are you talking about? You're not just a dating podcast. She's just so full of shit. It's unreal. The grift is insane.
D got a little like he was fucking 7 White Claws deep too. Look, if he I'm not going to co-sign what he said,
Not the
disavow.
TV static.
Disavow. But like it sounded like to me like they were asking about divorce in general, and he was saying endure, and then like somewhere through
If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and like values marriage a lot, and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, and then a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From
Would
who?
you? From both.
This is so rare.
Anyone
It's so
really.
rare.
I mean, it happens.
Go on.
My point is, I'm just, even though it might be rare from what you guys think.
It is. Go on.
If
she brings up physical abuse. And so
Well, and so I kind of look at this question a little differently, because my question is like, what is the abusive situation? And I need specifics. And like the reason I need specifics is women cry abuse for everything, and we've actually lost the meaning of abuse. Like if you go to, and I know this because I'm doing a divorce documentary. And so I'm actually interviewing men that are in the process of getting like absolutely wrecked by divorce. And a lot of them have had false allegations put out against them. And a lot of those, basically what the feminists do is they expand the definition of abuse to include things like coercive control, financial abuse, and even physical abuse. A lot of times, like girls don't talk about how they hit first. And most abusive situations are mutually abusive.
Melina was very specific in the situation. Do you remember they were saying, this is rare, and Pearl's now saying, I need specifics. And they said, even if it is rare, and they asked the question again. So again, she's being disingenuous.
Yeah.
They were very specific. Even if the amount of domestic abuse that goes reported, the numbers are not accurate, even if it's a low number, whatever it is, Melina gave us very specific example, and the guy was saying endure, and he knew exactly what they were talking about, because again, he was going like this, right? Black eyes. And then when they moved the conversation over to cheating, he heard what they said. They were very quick to jump on cheating, but they want women to endure. There's no lies being told here. It's in 4K. I don't know why what's his name? Brian. I don't know why he's defending this.
No, I don't know why anyone's sort of defending it.
It's crazy. Pearl just can't and even if, I'm not saying that men don't get wrecked by divorce. I'm not saying that there aren't men that get hit first and then they retaliate. That's a whole other conversation though. She's moving the conversation away from what it was. There's several conversations with domestic abuse and assault. They can go in several ways, but Melina gave a very specific example, and you're trying to move it away now because you know what you're saying is a bunch of bullshit.
Both hitting each other. And so a lot of times what girls will do is they'll say, oh, I'm being abused, but they don't talk about how she hit him first. Like I had a girl on the show say I was physically abused. And I used to just believe women. Like I would always just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But then you start asking questions, and it baffles me how women like turn the situation of them like being abused when they aren't. Like this one girl, she came on my show, she said I was physically abused. I said, okay, tell me the situation. What exactly happened? She refused to leave his house. She refused. So she's trespassing on his property, saying I'm not.
Do you know what my problem is with this? I don't believe what she's saying. What she does is she says, I spoke to this person, I had this person on, and then she comes up with a story that justifies whatever her point is. Have you noticed that every time she's like, oh, the stats say, where's the link? The thing is, on these podcasts, they take your phone away from you. They don't let you have your phone on you. So you can't even check. You just have to take what they're saying verbatim. There's no way for you to know what they're talking about. At least when like Steven Crowder goes to college campuses and he says the stats show, he has a paper there with the link to it. Give the student the study. Now you can dispute how like what kind of person Steven Crowder is or whatever. That's besides the point. My point is that if you're gonna start throwing around these stories, throwing around these accusations, these stats, have something to back it up. I'm not just gonna take her word for it. Oh, this, that, and the other. Now, if we even take what she's saying for this, like her story is very specific, right? So she kind of boxes you into a corner where you're like, no, that's not abuse. So then she goes, see, it's not abuse.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, the conversation is much more nuanced than that. I'm not just going to take her random example to justify her point at face value. I wouldn't take anything Pearl says at face value. She's got a very profitable brand. She knows what she's doing. She's going to say whatever she needs to say to continue to drive money to her brand.
And it's like no one seems to try and challenge her on her points as well.
It's not that nobody wants to challenge her on her points. It's that, as you saw in that screen grab that I got from her Instagram, she asks OnlyFans models, she asks strippers, she asks college students, people that you would expect to go on podcasts like this and embarrass themselves because of their talking point. And not people that have, not older women, more experienced women, women that are well educated, women that are not working in the corn industry. She specifically chooses these people to paint this picture of all women. That's why she's disingenuous. That's why she's full of shit. Anyway, the reason that this video was so long is because I know there's a lot of guys that watch Red Pill content. I know people that watch Red Pill content, and I don't even think that they're bad people. I just think some of these people are disenfranchised, and you heard some takes that resonated with you. But don't just support everything these people say. I can't sit here and bash on these feminists and bash on like Ethan Klein. And I shouldn't say bash. It's going to get taken out of context. I can't sit here and rags on all these people and then have these Red Pill guys, these Mr. Endure and all these other people saying these like really bad things about women, making up these statistics or whatever with no links or whatever, and not push back on them. And I'm sorry, like I've read the comments from some people that don't like us talking about Fresh and Phil, us talking about Red Pill guys. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, he's a simp. Oh, he can't get girls. He's just doing that because the girl's standing next to him. It doesn't bother me. I'm only bringing it up to say that I know that other people will hear those things and they'll feel like they're boxed into a corner and that they have to behave a certain way. Essentially, it's like peer pressure, right? Don't let these people box you in. If you feel like, and I'm talking to men specifically now, I'm not talking about the Ethan Kleins, I'm not talking about feminists, I'm talking about in the Red Pill space, if you feel like they're saying something that doesn't sound right or seems a bit off, challenge them on it. Don't just bow your head to it because your favorite content creator said it. By that same token, if we happen to be your favorite content creator and we say some shit you don't like, you can pull us up on it in the comment section. And if I said some stuff, I'm not going to be like Mr. Endure. A Sabi won't. We'll say sorry. It's okay to say sorry when you do something wrong. If you don't feel like you've done something wrong, then don't say sorry. Obviously, double down. But if you know you've done something wrong, then say sorry. And he knew that he did something wrong. And if you hear these people talking shit and making these derogatory comments about women and you don't think it's right, don't just stand there like a fucking, I don't know, like a piece on a chessboard and let them push you around.
He won't learn from that though.
Of course, I mean, he's going to learn.
Probably
a lesson
left
now.
and started writing in his group chat, I should have sliced that bitch in the face.
Yeah, probably some crazy shit like that. Rather than like taking accountability, you
Yeah.
know, their favorite buzzwords, doing all those things that they put women down for. And then he walks off a podcast, probably going to go on his group chats in his little safe spaces talking about abusing more women, probably going to be going through the motions in his head. God forbid any Japanese woman that dates him now. It's all nonsense. But anyway, I just wanted to say all that because like I've never been one that really gives into peer pressure like across the board. Of course it's happened. We're a human being. Everybody falls into groups sometimes that they don't want to be in. Just step out of it. Let them say whatever they want. Let them call you a simp. Let them say that you can't get girls. Let them say you're begging for female attention. Let them call you a white knight. Those things exist. There are guys that do those things, but it's not people that are simply standing up for women when these Red Pill guys are saying derogatory things about them. And just to clarify for the dummies in the back, it's not me saying that all Red Pill philosophies are bad and wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm not an absolutist. I don't believe that. I believe there are things that they say that resonate with people. That's partly the reason why I almost found myself completely sucked in. When you start to peel back the layers and you start to really see what's going on here, like everything else, like feminism, like BLM, like the LGBT community, there's going to be a bunch of bad apples in there with loud voices that are going to radicalize a decent portion of the fan base, and that's going to become main talking points. And you just Don't jump on the bandwagon just because you identify with them. It's nonsense.